Welcome back to Whiskey with E. I'm Eric. Now today we do have a whiskey with the E. So without further ado, we have Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. This is B523. Full transparency, I bought this myself from online from Drink Society for $200. Very pricey, but I have been wanting to try Elijah Craig for a long time. Now, for everyone that doesn't know, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof typically is unavailable in the liquor stores here in Australia, so you do have to go online to find this. Now, this one particularly is coming in at 124.2 proof, which is 62.1%, age stated 11 years 5 months. Right here. Now it says barrel proof, uncut, straight from the barrel. That's what we like to see. Alrighty, so Elijah Craig since 1789. Now, sticker at the back. Imported and distributed by Amber Beverage Australia Proprietary Limited. Contains 36 standard drinks. Yada yada. Alright, now, let's just get it uncorked. Fresh crack. Here we go. So, for everyone who doesn't know, this is my first time trying an Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. I have tried the standard small batch. I didn't particularly like it because at the time, the small batch, it was roughly $80 to $90. Now, for that price, I would rather get a Wild Turkey Rare Breed. But now that has gone up in price, so... But, enough of the chit-chat. Let's get it open. So, as you can see, it's all sealed. We have a little bit of a pulley tab here, so it looks like we're just gonna go bam. Oh, uh-oh, here we go. Oh, looks like I'm doing it unprofessionally. Oh dear. Alright. Oh, here we go, we ripped it off. Boom. Pause for the cork pop. Oh, here we go. Alrighties. Let's pour some up, shall we? Here we go. Now that's sitting for a sec. Alright. So, first pour of the day. So, uncut, unfiltered, barrel proof. This is gonna probably be a shock to my senses. Now, for everyone that doesn't know, Elijah Craig used to come in this pirate squatty bottle, alright? So this particularly is the small batch. Now the small batch used to have the 12-year age statement at the front. Then in April 2015 they stuck it on the back. And then they removed it. Everyone went crazy. You know, eventually they brought it back. And now with this Elijah Craig release being 11 years 5 months, people were not really too happy about this. But keep in mind, the age statement on the bottle is the minimal age that was in the blend. So essentially it is a small batch, you know, a whole bunch of barrels. Some barrels may have been older than 12 years, you know, but let's just say the youngest juice in the batch is 11 years 5 months. So there could be 12 years in this, we don't know. Now the batch after this one, the C something, you know, let's just say the batch after this one supposedly is a 13 year that everyone was chasing because, you know, it went from 11 years 5 months to 13 years. So I haven't seen that one yet, but I'll definitely be looking out for it. But I'm assuming it's going to be definitely higher in price. But you know what, without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright. Oh, colour. That is dark, guys. That is dark. A nice golden copper colour. Oh my goodness. Let's check it out. Let's check it out, guys. I mean, that is thick. You could tell it is thick. This is all the stuff I like to do behind the scenes. I know it could be boring for you, but you know what? Look at that. See these legs? These legs. See how slowly that's dripping? It's uncut, unfiltered. You know I love my bourbon uncut, unfiltered, no water added into this, but we will be adding in some water just to see. But actually, let's pour up another glass and then we will add in some water into that one. I'll just got to remember which one it is. All right, here we go. We'll pour some into this one. All right. All right. And then we will add in a few drops of water into this one. There we go. Oh, maybe another drop. Oh, a few more drops. There we go. I'll put that one at the back there. Alrighty, so on the nose, here we go. You are getting that, there is a sweetness to this, like a burnt brown sugar, kind of really caramelized. There is a slight cinnamon kind of note there. You are getting barrel, if that makes sense. Some kind of barrel char element. I am getting the proof on my nose. Keep in mind it is over 60%. Honestly, compared to the standard small batch, this is actually elevated. Honestly, when I bought the small batch, I didn't even enjoy it. I didn't even review it, to be honest. That was the first and last time I bought an Elijah Craig small batch. I mean, apart from this bottle here, I can't bring myself to open this purely because now it is a dusty, hard to find bottle. Oh, but man, there is a nutty element in this as well. Definitely not like a peanut or anything like that. Maybe like a toasted pecan kind of note. Some kind of toasted nuts. Now keep in mind, when you are nosing something indoors, it may be a little bit different than nosing it in the fresh outside environment. Honestly, whew, smells awesome. I think I just like anything barrel proof, so especially here in Australia, you know, everything is really not available. You know, you might find your wild turkey rare breeds on the shelves, but other than that, that's about it pretty much. I mean, you don't even get Jack Daniel barrel proofs here in Australia on the shelves, so. But enough chit chat, let's get a taste. Here we go. Cheers everyone. Who's tried B523? Drop it in the comments. Did you enjoy this batch? Here we go. Oh. Ooh. Oh. First sip, guys, first sip. Surprisingly, for the first sip of the day, that wasn't too bad. Yes, it was hot, but it almost feels like this nice velvety feeling. Almost, maybe it's almost like it's drying or something, like it was absorbing all the moisture in my mouth. Honestly, what is that? There's like a note in the back of my throat that I can't pick out. You know what? Second sip, let's get it. Let's get it. Look at this. Can you guys see these drips right here? Look at that. It's not even dripping. It's not even dripping. Can you see that, guys? That's how thick, oily and viscous this is. This is what I mean, guys. If you just get the opportunity to try bourbon at a barrel proof, I highly recommend it. You're getting a more elevated experience, untoned down, unadulterated. You know what? Let's have another sip. Here we go. Wow. You're almost getting elements of that cigar-y, that tobacco kind of note, that leathery old books kind of vibe. It's not essentially, it's not very fruity or anything like that. Keep in mind the fruity elements maybe come in more younger expressions of bourbon. Honestly, compared to Booker's being like at 7 years-ish, alright, keep in mind, Booker's in Australia, $100 to $130, 7-year-ish age statement. This, $200, double the age statement. Is it worth it? We will have to work that out soon, but you know what? Let's grab the glass, how I've added in the water. Let's see if there is a difference. So, with the water, without the water. I guess maybe it is bringing out a little bit slightly more vanillas. There is maybe a dark fruit element in this. It's like a darker note. It's not bright fruits or anything like this. Man. Like I said, unedited, unscripted. This is a fresh crack. What you see is what you get. You know what? Let's have a sip with the water. Here we go. Maybe that brought out more of the nuttiness. There is a savory element to this. Maybe it's just because it's so thick and viscous. Honestly, let's try it without the water. Man, definitely drink responsible when you're drinking barrel proof. And oh my goodness, what is this? Elements of dirty glass or something? Oh my goodness. Wow. Now, a lot of people online in the Whiskey Tube community say maybe they enjoyed the A batch, the batch before this one, more than this one. But this is my only batch of barrel proof that I've ever gotten to try, so honestly, me being a first time trying of the Elijah Craig barrel proof, I'm enjoying the experience, to be perfectly honest. So here we go, third sip of the without the water. It's almost like a real savory salted caramel kind of note, if that makes sense. Now, it being barrel proof, this actually drinks not bad. It's not, I'm not saying it burns me. I'm not saying there's much spiky edges or anything like this. Now, keep in mind, if you are early on your whiskey journey, if you're still, you know, mixing things with Coke, or if you're still haven't tried the barrel proof and you're just drinking the 40% stuff, yes, this may burn the shish kebab out of your mouth. This might drink a little bit hot for you, but if you love your barrel proof, if you love your cask strength, I feel that you're probably going to enjoy this. It's not really, there's no stings or anything like this. Yes, you're feeling a slight warmth. There is a warm Kentucky hug going. Honestly, I'm going to have another sip. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Who enjoys Elijah Craig barrel proofs? Drop it in the comments. What is your favorite batch? Here we go. Yes. My side started going a little bit tingly, a little bit numb. But keep in mind, let me explain how I like to take a sip, alright? Now, you're not going to approach it like you're having a shot. You're not just going to slam it down, alright? What you want to do is, I like to personally hold it in my mouth. I like to splush it around, get all that liquid in your mouth. Now, the more you splush it around in your mouth, the more you're going to start to salivate, you know, or your saliva starts to build up. And that is essentially what is going to proof down the bourbon in your mouth for you, right? So the natural salivas in your mouth is pretty much like dropping the water in your glass, essentially. You know, the more you're holding it in, the more you're splushing it, then you're going to swallow. Then it's going to be more of a less bitey experience, if that makes sense. But what is that? There's something in the maybe it's just the profile of Elijah Craig. Keep in mind, I'm a Wild Turkey fan, so there is a lot less clove elements, there's a lot less allspice elements. I guess this is its own flavor profile. You know what? Let's try some more with the water. Here we go. Oh man, honestly, oh my goodness, I'm loving it. Alright, a lot of people, keep in mind, here in Australia we don't get very much things, so every time I say I'm enjoying a certain Booker's batch, everyone else in the world is like, that was the worst batch of the year, this and that. But keep in mind, it's our only batch of the year, so we appreciate what we get. So that being said, this being the only Elijah Craig barrel proof I've ever gotten to try, I'm saying I'm enjoying the experience. I'm saying I recommend you try the experience. Now, the Elijah Craig small batch obviously is bottled at a lower percent. I believe it's 94 proof. Yep, 94 proof. 47% alcohol per volume. Now that to me, I didn't enjoy the experience very much. Honestly, to me, at 47% it was too proof down, and for the price here in Australia at the time, I would rather get a Wild Turkey rare breed. You know, I guess I'm a proof hound. I'm a proof hound. There you go. But at barrel proof, elevated experience. Honestly, 10 times better. Let's just say you're just getting an experience that hasn't been toned down, you know, but like I said, if you are still at your drinking your 40% bourbons, you know, mixing it with Coke, or, you know, you enjoy it with an ice cube, you know, this and that, then maybe you getting an Elijah Craig small batch at 47%, you may be enjoying the experience. But then again, if you're mixing it with Coke, you know, everything's a more cokey experience, isn't it? Then that being said, you know, the mass markets that, you know, let's just say drink that aren't the 1% whiskey enthusiast, maybe you're drinking and then you don't really want to taste all that alcohol. You know, maybe you are mixing it with Coke to really get rid of the alcohol, you know, burns, or the alcohol ethanol fumes. So that being said, if you're doing that anyway, maybe you should just, yeah, grab a cheap bottle just to mix with Coke. No point spending, you know, $100 on a bottle that you're just gonna mix it with Coke anyway, right? But if you're drinking it neat, maybe with an ice cube, highly recommend barrel proof. Now, Wild Turkey rare breed holds up well with an ice cube, honestly. That's how you know, we all started off somewhere. I mean, we all started off mixing with Coke when we were younger. You know, eventually we took away the Coke, and then you're adding in the ice cube. Eventually you take away the ice cube, and then you're just adding in a few drops of water. So honestly, elevated experience. But you know what? Speaking about ice cubes, I'm gonna go get an ice cube. We're gonna pour some up, and we're gonna try it on the rocks. So, you know what? Hold that thought. I'll be back. I'm gonna go grab an ice cube. All right, here we go. Here we go. And we're back with a tray of ice cubes. Here we go. So, woohoo! Let's pour some up. Here we go. All right, here we go. I'm trying to be responsible. It's barrel proof. We don't want to get too sloshed. But it is Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. If you're watching this, if I'm releasing this today, then it should be Friday. So, here we go. Let's grab it out an ice cube. All right. Now, keep in mind, if you are choosing to mix your bourbon with ice cube, now, if you are wanting a less diluted experience of putting in ice cube, maybe you want a spherical ice cube. So, you know, those rubber things, you know, that you fill up the water and it makes the ice cube a round ball. Now that essentially is going to melt slower, so you're going to get less dilution. You're going to, you know, that's going to chill down your whiskey without diluting it too much with water. But obviously if you're putting in a whole bunch of crushed ice cubes, it's going to melt a whole lot quicker and you're going to get a more watered down experience. Really depends on how you want to drink it. Alright. But right now, we go on the 1 cube. Bloop. Oh my goodness. Ignore this random stain looking thing here on my glass. Here we go. Alrighty, so Elijah Craig B523 with an ice cube. Here we go. Honestly, the ice cube, it brought out more vanillas. You know, yes, vanilla, caramels, your typical nosy notes of bourbon. You know, I don't give too much different notes, obviously. I'm no Ralphie, I'm no professional, you know. But I'm just sharing my experience with you, either. Man. So, me being used to buying just Wild Turkey Rare Breed or Booker's as the barrel proof bourbons, this to me is just, it's just awesome to get to try a different profile of a different distillery at barrel proof. So honestly, oh look at that, the ice cube is already gotten that smaller. Maybe it's from my swirls. You know what, let's have a sip. Here we go. Cheers everyone. Do you drink your bourbon neat, or do you enjoy it with an ice cube still, or do you mix it with Coke? Drop that in the comments. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Woohoo! Well, now, alrighties. If you are trying to venture out from mixing your bourbons with Coke, honestly, the ice cube holds up well in the Elijah Craig barrel proof. Yes, the liquid now is cold, alright? So essentially, maybe that tricks the brain into thinking it's more sweet, more smooth. But it's not too watered down, you know. It being barrel proof allows it to hold that ice cube still, you know, even if it dilutes it down a little, you know. So essentially, I'm no mathematician, but if you're coming from 60% and you got the ice cube in there, it's slowly melting. Maybe this has come down to 50 something percent, essentially like a 101. Killer parrots. Cockatoos. Yes, there's a whole lot of cockatoos here in Australia. They fly around looking for little kids to snatch up from the sky, take them away. Everyone in the state's gonna be like, oh, ah, ah. Oh, look, there's one right here. Look at this, look at this. How you going? How you going, cocky? Can you see that? Hey, look, it's eyeing me out. I think it wants to shit on me. Look, it just turned around like it wants to take a shit. Oh my goodness. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Oh, sorry guys, I just had to share that. Killer cockatoos. Yes, they are white with a yellow crest on their head. My goodness. It's just random that it just flew in and it just wants to land right there and turn its butt crack to me like it wants to take a poop. Yeah, don't do it. Alright, see you later, buddy. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you have tried the Elijah Craig B523. What is your favorite batch of Elijah Craig barrel proof? Drop it in the comments. Do you still find the Elijah Craig barrel proofs of good value? Obviously, if you're in the States, it being 70 or whatever US dollars, I don't know what it retails for in the US, but all I know is here in Australia, the small batches are close to $100. So when you're paying $200 for a barrel proof version, yes, it's a little bit iffy, but keep in mind we are paying $100 to $130 for the Bookers. Now keep in mind, in America, I hear that the Bookers prices are going to roughly $100 US. So that being said, if you're in Australia and you're able to find Bookers for $100, maybe that's still good value. If in America they're starting to be roughly 100 US, then I think that's good value. But yes, we are paying double for the Elijah Craig barrel proof, but keep in mind, double the age. Alright, so instead of being 7 years Bookers, we're getting a not 12 year, but keep in mind, 11 years, 5 months is the lowest year that is in the blend. Now, we don't know what goes into the blend. We don't know, if, there is essentially, there would be essentially older barrels in this, but legally they have to state the lowest age on the bottle. So there you go. But anyways, like, comment, subscribe. I will catch you all next time, and as always, drink responsibly and don't drink and drive. Cheers everyone. Not bad with the ice cube, guys. Oh yes, it is getting cloudy, but keep in mind, unchill filtered, uncut, natural color, all that jazz. I mean, I was about to end the video, but for everyone that doesn't know, chill filtration was pretty much brought in to take away that cloudiness. So to all the non-whiskey aficionados, when they put in an ice cube and then they look at it and they're thinking it's going cloudy, maybe that didn't appeal to the mass market. So chill filtration removes, it removed all the, personally, the whiskey aficionados will say that chill filtration removes certain oils, the certain esters, that give more flavor essentially, but it removes the whole element of it being cloudy. Now personally, I couldn't give a shit if it goes cloudy, because as long as it's coming straight from the barrel, I love it. Uncut, unfiltered. This is the way we love it. Ah, man, that is good. That is good. All right, I'm gonna have to maybe light up a cigar and enjoy it with this. So maybe on our next episode, we are going to light up a cigar to pair it up with the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. So tune in soon. As I said, like, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification button so you can see the next video. Oh, much love to you all. I'm going to be repeating myself. I'll catch you all next time. Later all.